Hello and welcome to the next episode, whatever number, 286, I want to say. Yeah, that's correct. Of the TEW 2020 Challenge Run. We are here for September of Week 1's SmackDown, and SmackDown hasn't got a pay-per-view like Raw has. SmackDown's next pay-per-view is in 5 weeks, so we're going to keep building towards Clash at the Castle, I guess, here on this side. And last week was a big show, you know. Seth Rollins showed up. Yeah. And that was about it. Except for this week, we've got a Tag Team Championship match. TIY defend against the Limit Breakers. Warden defends the United States Championship against Ronnie Hughes. Aleister Black takes on Ezekiel. And just announced to open up the show, we will in fact hear from Seth freaking Rollins. Without any further ado, let's jump straight into the show. Just the good old days of Season 5. Seth Rollins opening up SmackDown, but you know, this is very much not the same Seth Rollins that opened up those shows. He comes to the ring, new theme song, he's dancing, he's going, oh, whoa, and all that shit. And he gets into the ring and he's like, it's like, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Friday Night SmackDown. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Friday Night freaking Rollins. And I come bearing good news with you here tonight. For the first time in about over a year, the Bloodline aren't gonna be here tonight at all. Roman, you know, he takes the odd day off. Maybe he's running scared, but he's not here tonight. And we saw what happened to Jimmy and Jacob last week. They're not gonna be here tonight. Now I should probably start with my actions at SummerSlam. You're all asking, Seth, why? Why, Seth Rollins? Why would you betray our hero, Cody Rhodes? Because Cody Rhodes betrayed all of us. You know, ever since last year's SummerSlam, I have made it my vow to be the one to dethrone Roman Reigns for the WWE Championship. That's our story, you know. Money in the Bank, King of the Ring attempts, all of this to try and just be the one to take the championship, to end this man's reign of dominance, this reign of terror that we're living in modern times. But suddenly Cody Rhodes comes back and he thinks that his story dictates everything else. So, Cody Rhodes, I saw what happened to you on Monday. Godspeed, Cody, you know. I've got no beef with you anymore. You have exhausted your usefulness to me. Because what I did at SummerSlam wasn't to you, Cody. It wasn't for you. It was for Roman. Because I will be the man who will dethrone the tribal chief, no matter what. Now, as for last week, Jimmy and Jacob Fatu getting attacked, you know. How did anyone get into that locker room? The devil knows his ways, ladies and gentlemen. And could it be that Seth freaking Rollins attacked Roman Reigns' cousins before Roman Reigns got into the building to send a message to him? You're gonna have to wait and find out. Out comes Daniel Bryan, of all people. And he says, Seth, is that you? I don't know, I don't recognize you anymore. You're not. What has happened to you, man? Like, I came back here like 3 months ago. I was chosen to be the one to face Roman Reigns back at King of the Ring. I came up short, you know. That's on me. But Seth, you were going about this. You were fighting. You were putting on the greatest match every single week. Seth freaking Rollins had been found. You knew who you were. But you've let Roman Reigns get into your head so much where you've lost sight of reality. And Seth snaps and goes, "No, Brian. You're the one who's lost sight of reality. Because let me tell you this. You came back to this company thinking that you could be the top dog again. That's not how things work. It ain't 2014 anymore here, D-Bry. You know, I'm the top guy around here. Not you, not anybody else, not Cody Rhodes, not Big E, not Drew McIntyre, and certainly not Roman Reigns. Okay? So you can go and be a good little hand and go to the back and get ready for whatever match you've got tonight that doesn't matter because Seth freaking Rollins isn't in it. Okay? Because I'm the next WWE champion, and I don't care what Roman Reigns, what Adam Pearce, what any stupid stipulation says about it. I've waited long enough, Brian. And you, coming out here, you've found yourself in the wrong place at the wrong time. Because you see, you think that you're owed another championship rematch, Brian, but no. You're merely going to be a pawn in my game. And Brian's looking at him really confused. He's like, What do you mean? And then bang, Seth Rollins low blows Daniel Bryan. He kicks him in the balls, and he starts jumping on him, starts smacking him with the microphone. He just beats the fuck out of Bryan. Fucking referees run out, Seth attacks all of them, and the medical team run out, try and take Bryan out. Seth stomps him. And they put the neck brace on Bryan and go to put him on the stretcher, but Seth runs out of the ring, starts attacking him again, pulls him off the stretcher, stomps him on the floor outside, and has to be restrained by everybody. And then he's screaming, he goes, "This is what happens. This is what's happened if you deny me what is mine. If you deny me any longer, this is on you, Roman." We then cut to commercial, and we come back, and we are given a recap of Seth Rollins' brutal attack of Daniel Bryan, and then we cut to the back where Bryan's being stretched into an ambulance. Pearce is there, and Seth runs back into frame and continues to start attacking Bryan, rips him off the stretcher again, throws him against a wall or some shit, or rams one of the moving boxes into him. And Pearce is there. He's like, "What the fuck you doing, bro? What the fuck you doing?" And Seth grabs Pearce by the collar. And he's like, You're going to give me Roman Reigns. I don't care anymore. I've been a good little employee for long enough. Pearce, you're going to get me my championship match that I need, or this will keep happening to anybody that gets in my way. Understood?" And Pearce is like, "Well, you can't really." And he goes, "Oh, we understood, Pearce." And he's like, yes, just let go of me." And Seth drops him and walks off. 70 rated match. Warden and Ronnie. This wasn't going to be long because I don't think either of these have very good psychology. And it doesn't need to be long. It just needs to be short and to the point. But Warden makes the first defense of the US title. He powerbombs Ronnie for the 1, 2, 3. Makes defense number 1 of the US title. 77 for Warden, 70 for Ronnie. And the two big meaty men shake hands afterwards because these are still baby faces and I don't want it to be construed that they're not. Because I like the concept of babyface hurt business more than heel hurt business. Because they're cool. There's certain heels that, I get not every single heel needs to be, cartoonishly evil. I've made Seth Rollins already. But, when you're people like the hurt business who were just beating people up and not cheating at all and you're just dominating, why would I do that? You're just cool. Speaking of cool, Hit Row. Dropping a rap. I've got nothing specifically for them to do this week, so they're Hit Row. They're in the studio working on their new rap when there's a knock on the door. And Swerve's like, "Well, who's this? Who's this, bruh?" And he opens the door and there's some delivery man. He goes, "This is for you, Mr. Scott." And he goes, "Thanks." And he just hands him a piece of paper, and the door shuts. And Swerve's like, "Yo, fam, check it. And they all lean over and look at this piece of paper. And Top Dollar's like, seems interesting. And so I was like, well, should we go? We are invited, you know. And Beefhead's like, let's sit on it. We don't know who else is going to be there, but this seems like a great opportunity for us. Pierce, he's on the phone. He's rushing. He goes, I don't know what happened. He's like, he came out. Brian came to speak to him, and then now Brian's in an ambulance. He's on the way to the hospital, and Seth's running around like a lunatic, and he wants the championship match with Roman Reigns. Like, this is getting out of hand. Like, what should we do about it? And he goes, okay, I'll hold. And Pierce is there on hold on the phone, and we hear, Monsieur Pierce. And he goes, what? What, David? I don't have time for this shit today. And he goes, David Martin. And Pierce is like, whatever, what do you want? He goes, I see that my cousins have not arrived yet here, Monsieur Pierce. I was wondering what the hold-up was. And he's like, the hold-up is that the whole show's chaotic. And David Martin's like, oh, do you not think you should be doing a better job as the GM? And he goes, don't you get sleepy with me, David Martin, because I think I have this shot. He goes, shh, David Martin, Violet Martin, Pierce. Next week, my cousins of Le French Connection are coming to Le Bleu brand, and we want it to be a great welcoming for them. Understood? And Pierce is like, I've got a lot of other shit on my plate, but sure, David, I'll make it understood. We'll greet your French cousins fantastically. Très fantastique. And he looks at him, he goes, what did you call me? And he goes, David. And he's, David Martin. Au revoir. And they leave, and he's like, oh, fuck's sake. We then cut to Bayley and Gorilla. She's ready for her match. She goes, ladies and gentlemen, Bayley, you know, last week, Kairi Sane and Dakota Kai sort of got into it for, you know, the SmackDown Women's Championship. They go into a brawl backstage, and like, Bayley's like looking over her shoulder this whole time, like, oh, he's looking out for somebody. And she's like, and you seem to make it abundantly clear that you were targeting Kairi's championship. Can we get any? And then Bayley like puts her hand over the mic and like shushes Kayla up. It's like, shut up, Kayla. She's like, what? Why are you so late? And Cora walks up. She's like, I'm sorry. Like, I got distracted. Like, and Bayley's like, distracted by what? What's more important than coming to the ring to help me in my match? Huh? She's like, nothing, Bayley. It's you know, other stuff. Like, and Bayley's like, well, other stuff doesn't matter right now. We need you to be a winner, okay? You made me look like a loser, and now it's time for me to make you look like a winner, okay? So you come to the ringside with me and watch me win. And then she like sort of grabs Cora and just shoves her through the curtain as Bayley's music hits, and we go to the match. Bayley gets a 75 against Kelsey. She pins her at 9:49 with a headlock driver. 80 for Bayley, 49 for Kelsey. 75 is actually pretty good for that, you know. And yeah, Cora's at ringside, watching on against her will, I guess. You can see her like look and debate leaving at certain points, but she's like, nah, I'm just gonna get attacked if I do that, so there's no point. And after the match, Bayley goes, oi, you, pointing at Cora, and she's like, what? She's like, kendo stick me. And Cora tosses a kendo stick into her, and Bayley starts wailing into Kelsey with a kendo stick as Cora just sort of watches on from the outside. Like, she wants to break it up, but she can't because Bayley will just attack her again. And she goes, get in here. And Cora reluctantly enters the ring, and Bayley hands her the stick and then points at Kelsey and goes, whack her. And Cora's like, but why? What's she done? And Bayley's like, don't ask why. Do you want to be a winner or not? And Cora's like, I guess. It depends what I've got to do for it. Because we need to send a message to the rest of the division. Hit her. And Kelsey slowly starting to get to her feet. And she's sort of looking up at Cora like, bruh, what the fuck you doing? And then, bang, Cora twats her on the back with the kendo stick. And Bayley celebrates. She throws her arms up in the air. She's like, hey, let's go. That's a lot of damage. Good job. Gives her a high five, and Cora reluctantly is like, yeah, whatever. And then Bayley and Cora leave the ring together. We then get backstage. There's like a boombox blaring shit backstage. And Kaden and Katana are like dancing and having a rave. Toni Storm's there as well because she seems like a sort of like a girl who would love a rave or whatever. And then Toxic Attraction walking like, what is this? What is this? Turn this down. JC turns the music down. And they're like, excuse me, what are you doing here? It's like, I'm sorry, did we interrupt your little party? But some of us want to work. Okay. This... How long have you two been in on this division now? 2 years? Talking to Kaden and Katana. And you've done nothing to show for it. You've hopped around brand to brand about basically every year. You tried to be an A-lister that one time. That didn't work. Well, you're just going to give up instead of, wasting our time with this. And Tony steps in and he's like, so that's a lot of talk for somebody who was a joke for the first 5 years of her career. And Manny's like, oh, a joke for the first 5 years of my career? At least I'm not a joke right now, Tony, like you are. Okay? You keep partying with losers, okay? And we'll celebrate like winners. Like champions. Because Toxic Attraction is the attraction. Nobody's coming to SmackDown to see you three. Okay? So wind it in. Backstage segment. We're in the Hurt Business locker room. And Lashley is sort of like giving a pep talk to Ronnie, like giving him pointers, going like, this is where you went wrong. You could have done this, you could have done that. You could have done this. And he's sort of like breaking down where Bobby fucked up, or where Ronnie fucked up, so we can do it again next week. Or next time. And Ricochet's like, don't mean to interrupt your little pep talk out here, but... it's been a week. Big Bronny, What are you saying? Me and you back together again? And MVP's like, listen here. We have taken your offer under advisement. And whilst we agree there would be mutual benefits to allowing the colossal Bronson Reed to enter the tag team division, it's not something that we're looking at an expansion we're looking to make right now, Ricochet. Because we don't know if you've got what it takes to be big business. There's a reason why I pulled Bronson Reed away from you the first time. Okay? Now shut your dumb ass up and prove to us why you should be a part of this tag team. Ricochet's like, say less. .78 rated match. Aleister Black and Ezekiel go at it. Ezekiel fighting on behalf of the House of Black for Elias, who I guess is Ezekiel's brother. And Aleister beats him. 10-29 with a black mass. 86 for Aleister, 81 for Ezekiel. And yeah, I guess Aleister wins on behalf of his cult member. And then after the match, the House of Black sort of stand over Ezekiel. They're like, where is he? Where is he? Where's your brother? We miss him dearly. We want him back in our cult. He's an important member of our group. Where is he? And Ezekiel's like, guys, that's why I came to SmackDown. I want you to tell me where he is. Does anyone have any idea? Then Adam Cole runs down. He's like, yes, you fucking idiot. He's right there. They all just sort of look at him confused. He goes, what? Oh, what? You're going to look at me like I'm the idiot here? You're all buying this crap? And I know you've got, like, spooky powers, and you're all sort of supernatural, but let me spell it out to you like a real-life, sane human being. This is the same guy. This is Ezekiel, this is Elias, this is Elrod, this is your friend in your cult. Okay, the guy who's just run around with the guitar, walk with Elias, all that shit? That is him. Now take him, and do whatever it is you do to get him to confess, because I'm sick of seeing him running around here looking like this, looking like that, looking like the other. And Alistair sort of looks at him all weird, and he drops Adam Cole with a black mass. And Ezekiel sort of looks at him weird, and Alistair kneels down to Ezekiel, and he goes, If what he says is true, you'd better confess right now. And Ezekiel's like, I'm not Elias. He's my brother. And I said, chuckles. He goes, I'll believe you. But if I find out that you're lying, you, your brother, and every member of your family that dares show up on SmackDown are going to be in trouble. Okay? Are you Elias? And he goes, no. And then Asa stands up and he's like, I see how it is. The search continues then. And then the House of Black leave. And Adam Cole's staring by this point, and he's looking at Ezekiel all confused, like, bro, like, just fucking stop this. Like, you're gonna get fucked up. Backstage segment, The Miz and Grayson Waller getting peppered by, like, the makeup people or whatever. They're gone. Well, here it is. Our big return to SmackDown. You know, last week we came over here in the shake-up, and now Pierce is giving us this Smack time to sell us on why we are the most must-see, greatest acquisitions in the history of WWE's SmackDown brand. And Grayson's like, well, Miz, you know, you're my hero, you know. When I grew up, everyone else's favourite wrestlers, you know, whether it be John Cena or Batista or people like that. There's even those weird kids that like Daniel Bryan and, you know, guys like that, Eddie Guerrero, those losers. I always knew that I saw myself in you, Miz. That's why I got your back, and we're going to be the most A-list duo of all time. Then LA Knight walks in, he goes, whoa, what are you guys rambling about here? Yeah. And Miz like, we're talking about how we know the most must-see duo here on SmackDown. And Knight goes, well, I don't know what the issue is, because the $1 million megastar was already on SmackDown. Why get the Miz over here when you got Miz, who's 10 times better in the ring and on the microphone already on the show? Yeah. And Miz goes, let me get one thing straight. Nobody's 10 times better than me. Nobody's 1 times better than me. Let alone 10. When was the last time you were even relevant? And LA Knight goes, well, the thing about me, LA Knight, you dummy, is that I'm always relevant. I'm always on these people's minds. And if you're coming over to my show to try and think you're going to take over and just take that top spot, you got another thing coming. Yeah. And he walks off, and Grayson's like, do you want me to get him, Miz? And he goes, no, he's not worth our time. Oh, that's a good match. Okay. Why was this so good? I guess just banged. Okay. Dakota versus Naomi, 8 minutes 50. Dakota beats her with a scorpion kick. She gets a 71 and a 66 for Naomi. Big win. But then an even bigger moment on the microphone after the match, which I didn't put into the game apparently. Dakota takes her microphone and says, you know, Kyrie, I hope you're still feeling the effects of what I did last week right in your locker room. But I hope you're better by next week, so I don't want you having any excuses, because next week I want my rematch for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Drops mic. And then we cut to ads, and we get Trick and Mellow in the barbershop. Mellow goes, last week, you know, I'm fresh off my win over Seth Rollins at SummerSlam. I thought, who's the next step for Mellow? That's when I came in. I talked. People call him the greatest wrestler of all time, Daniel Bryan. I'm going to put him down next time I see him, because I don't miss. Trick goes, well, listen here, Mellow. I heard that poor D-Bry, you know, he got taken away in an ambulance tonight. And Mellow goes, oh, that sucks. I hope he's back by the time I want to fight him, because it sure would look suspicious if he ran ducking away at Mellow the week after I challenged him to a match. Trick goes, I think that's what it is, Mellow. I think he's scared of getting embarrassed by you, just like Seth Rollins did, just like Dolph Ziggler did, just like John Morrison did. All these guys, they get shown up by Trick and Mellow, baby. And he goes, that's damn right, Trick, they are, because I shoot, I don't miss, and when I step into that ring, I don't lose. That's why I got this. Tapping the briefcase. That's why I am your next WWE champion. And Daniel Bryan, he's a has-been. Dolph Ziggler has been. Seth Rollins, I mean, I don't really want to say anything about him right now, you know. But I'm the future and the now, baby. So yeah, just to get Trick and Mellow on the show. After last week, they called out, and they came out after Bryan's match, but Brian's been a bit busy on this show, so we haven't been able to follow up on that directly. So, speaking of next week, nobody was talking about next week, but I am now. We've got a big show announced for next week. As we just heard, the SmackDown Women's Championship will be on the line. Dakota Kai will face off with Kairi Sane in a rematch from their title match at SummerSlam Night 1, in which Kairi won the title in Boston. Then, another women's piece of action, as we also set up earlier on tonight, a 6-woman tag team match. Toni Storm teams with Kaden Carr and Katana Chance to face Toxic Attraction. There's no Japanese women in that match, we're expecting no injuries. We then also have, based on their segment earlier on tonight, LA Knight going one-on-one with Grayson Waller, and the in-ring debut of the grizzled young veterans Rip Fowler and Jagger Reed. Oh, this got a 90? Really? Even with that finish? So what would it have gone if I didn't do that finish? Okay. The SmackDown Tag Team title match. Limit Breakers DIY. This game absolutely does not know how to handle that kind of finish. I see. But, yes. You know, the two big men realistically would be dominating, but they'd effectively work as the heels in this match because they're against two smaller guys and they're two big guys. But Braun and Keith running rampant, DIY, you know, their hope spots, big one final beat DDT on Keith for a near fall or something like that. And in the end, they're going for a meeting in the middle. Gargano rushes in to meet, I guess, Braun in the middle when he's clocked out nowhere by a super kick. Seth Rollins is back out here, and he's just caused this match to be thrown out. He takes out Gargano, he takes out Tommaso Ciampa, he takes out Keith Lee, he takes out Braun Breaker with a steel chair, and any like referees or whatever who run out to try and stop him. And he continues to just wail on people. Stomps after stomp to Ciampa, stomp to Gargano, stomp to Keith, stomp to Braun. And he goes to Michael goes, This is what's gonna happen, Pierce. You're responsible for your own show's demise. Not me. I've waited around too long for this bullshit. Give me that match. Give me Roman Reigns. And Pierce comes out and he's like, well, Seth, he's like, no, you stop talking. Unless the next words out of your mouth are, next week you're going to face off with Roman Reigns for the WWE Championship. I don't want to hear him. And Pierce is like, well, a stipulation is a stipulation, you know. You can't challenge Roman Reigns for the WWE Championship. I can't book that match, Seth. I'm sorry. And Seth goes, I thought you'd say that, Pierce. I thought you'd say that. So if I came up there, there's nothing, you know. Nothing else for me to sort of stick around for. And what's more dangerous, Pierce, than a man who's got nothing to lose? He grabs the chair and he puts it around Gargano's neck and he goes to do a curb stomp on him. And he's like, no, the referee. But by the time he runs back and hits throats for the stomp. But then when he rebounds off, he's tackled to the ground by referees and like security and shit, like an actual person like would be in real life, like just tackled to the ground by the security. And they handcuff Seth and they take him out the back. And Seth spits in Pierce's face as he walks past. And Pierce shakes his head. He goes, gotta deal with the problem head on. I'm sorry, everybody. This won't happen again. And then Seth is taken to the back and he's like, get off me. And put into the back of a police car and driven away as the show ends. .92 rated show. Banging show, you know. Seth Rollins, you know, his obsession with Roman Reigns has driven him to insanity. Like, we've never seen anyone this unhinged in my save so far. He'll stop at nothing to get that match, but you know, stipulations are a stipulation. What's going to happen next week? Who knows? Seth's not going to be around. But I know who is going to be around. That's going to be Rey Mysterio, the Cruiserweight Champion, and the rest of the Velocity Gang. Velocity kicks off with RJ in his office with Ray, Dominic, Garza, and Dixie. And it's just a quick segment announcing officially that at the next WWE Premium Live event, Raw's WWE Unforgiven, these two Raw branded cruiserweight stars, Rey Mysterio and Angel Garza, will battle for the Cruiserweight Championship of the world. Yeah, just a nice... I needed time to fill and I wanted to announce the match, so I'm like, yeah, just stick that on here, that's fine. Rey versus Garza, everyone knew it was coming anyway, so it's fine. Then, a 63 rated opening match. Young Sensei wrestling, I think their first singles match ever? Question mark. And it's against non-fungible Nice, because I needed somebody with good psychology, because apparently Bandit only has 21 psychology in my game, which is weird. But it's fine, because Bandit wins in 12-24 with the Gomu Gomu no Boomerang, or Boomerang Kick in the 4Kids dub. 24 Sensei, 78. What the fuck? 78 for non-fungible Nice? Holy shit. Oh, Ashley says non-fungible Nice look excellent out there. Is it going to say that he made Bandit look or Sensei look particularly good? It doesn't. We get an in-ring segment with Kayla Braxton ahead of the next match. And she please welcome to the ring Zachary Ben Shahar, Lennox Duncan, and Gregor Ferguson. And out they come. And Noam Dar kisses her hand as he takes the microphone and he goes, "Thank you so much, gorgeous. Now, you're probably all wondering what we're doing here. Who are Zachary Ben Shahar, Lennox Duncan, and Gregor Ferguson? We are the Lady Killers. And in case our name wasn't obvious enough, the ladies love us. Kayla, are you getting hot in this ring with us now, aren't you?" She's like, "Meh." She's like, "Well, we're here to take Velocity by storm. As a veteran of the WWE Cruiserweight division before, I will be the next Cruiserweight champion." And then will come MSK, which is a trio of Wes Lee, Tristan Ellison, who is Trey Miguel, and Leslie Young, who is Myron Reed. And they get in the Lady Killer's face, and a fight starts, and we get a 6-man tag, which is a 67, 64 for... Oh, why am I reading that before the actual match? MSK win in 13:53. Wesley beats Lennox Duncan. 64 for Leslie Young. 59 for Tristan Ellison. 70 for Wesley. 55 for Gregor. 33 for Lennox Duncan. And a 65 for Zachary Ben Shahar. And yeah, big win for MSK, the trio here. Then, before tonight's main event, this is like, one of the early NXT 2.0 episodes where, these people get randomly introduced with new gimmicks. We get, because I was trying to do a pirate gimmick and I'm not doing it with Kyrie, and Alex Zane, wears an eye patch in real life. He's, "Yar! Me name be R.E. Sterling." And I'm here. I'm swashbuckling to the shores of Velocity to find the golden treasure. X marks the spot for Velocity. And if this was the X Division, that'd be a really clever pun, but it's not. So, and arg, that booty be the Cruiserweight Championship of the world. Arg. Me and me swashbuckling friends, I'm sure you'll meet them at some point, yarg, are gonna take over Velocity for IBRE Sterling. And the main event is him versus Lindsay in an 80 rated match. And apparently I picked the wrong winner, because Ari gets a 77 and Lindsay gets a 62, but it is Lindsay who wins because he's the established name here. And Ari, despite wrestling on Survivor Series last year, is not. But he does get a 77, so he's probably a future top guy on Velocity, while Lindsay is Lindsay Dorado. Anyway, that's the end of Velocity. Actually, kind of a long one this week, in terms of Velocity standards. We're getting new characters over, the pirate R.E. Sterling, and then the Lady Killers, who are, just a bunch of douchebags who like women. and MSK, who you can probably guess what their gimmick is based on the stable picture I made for them. But yes, that is the end of the show. Do let me know what you thought about this and SmackDown in the comments below. And I'll see you next time for Raw. See you then.